Hi, I'm Kevin with Concept One. We're going to do a video today installing our newest pulley system. It's for the LSA engine from GM Performance. As we look at this thing, we're going to do a separate video on installing the balancer, but we do include a balancer with the kit. Okay, we're going to start with the water pump. First thing I'm going to do, since this is an aluminum block, we're going to put a little bit of anti-seize on the thread of these bolts to keep that from seizing in the aluminum. On this particular one, it's a little easier to go one side or the other. These gaskets are a little bit hard to hold on to. Alright, we're going to leave one of these bolt holes open intentionally because we have another bracket that's going to fasten to it on the supercharged kit. It's just some extra bracing. Okay, now we're going to install the AC compressor main bracket. Now this bracket is different on the superchargers. It's more rigid than it would be on the standard kit. So it looks a little different if it looks different to you. Next, we'll install the front bracket for the compressor. Okay, on this bracket we'll leave it a little loose so that we can, when we mount the compressor, we have several other bolts to start. Now we're going to install the compressor. Like I said earlier, we leave this front bracket loose because we have several bolts that we have to start. So once we get all those started, we can start tightening up. Okay, she's snugged up. We'll start tightening the bolts. Now we'll install the main alternator and power steering bracket. Next bracket is it's a spacer bracket that goes for the alternator on the main alternator power steering bracket. Next is the alternator arm, and then we have a new bracket. What this is for is because these superchargers pull so much horsepower, it puts a lot of stress. So this thing is going to brace over to the water pump, and it will make it just a lot more rigid. Now we'll install the alternator. It just mounts with a couple of bolts. Okay, now we will install the power steering pump. It's a new Delphi pump with our billet aluminum reservoir built onto it. It does have a spacer that goes between the main bracket and the pump to make the alignment correct. Okay, now we're going to install the pulleys. We'll start with the crank pulley. Now for the power steering pulley. It uses 3 little socket head bolts. That way you don't have to press the pulley itself on. We install the hub from before it leaves us. So that thing's installed for you, and then you just bolt your pulley to the hub. You'll see it'll be a little tough to get these completely tight, so what I like to do is I'll tighten them best I can like this, but once you get the belt on it, you can really go over and double check everything. Now we're ready to install our water pump pulley. You can notice on the water pump pulley it's a little different. You'll see some black in here and on the outside where the belt runs. Well, what we do there is we actually hard coat these pulleys, and then we come back and machine the face off, but that black is a hard coat anodizing, which will protect it from wear. Again, I would come back and double check that when we're after you put the belt on. Now we'll install the supercharger pulley. There are different ratios for these. We offer 2 different ratios. This one is going to get a stock ratio, so this is the same size pulley that came from the factory on this kit. And one thing I haven't mentioned is when this thing comes, it has a black stock pulley on it. And how we do this is Lingenfelter builds a hub that you see on the shaft. Now you have to take the front snout of the blower off and press that hub off, the original pulley off, press this hub on, and then our pulley is made to bolt to that. And then that allows us to have the different ratios and have a pretty pulley on it instead of that ugly stock black thing. Okay, last but not least, well maybe least, here's the alternator cover. Thing using an O-ring to seal. What I would recommend doing is putting a little grease or some WD-40 is what we normally do to make it slide in a little easier, and that stuff will dry and it'll hang in there. Now we're going to install the belt, and we're almost finished. Okay, we've installed our kit. We've got the belt on it. You can see, I don't know if you can tell on the video, but this belt is pretty wide. This is actually an 8-rib system to drive those superchargers so they get a lot of grip. They take a lot of grip to run because they pull a lot of horsepower to make horsepower. One option we have on these LS, I left this one off because we'll have to decide once it goes into the car. The kits are made to use a stock thermostat housing, but if you get into a situation where you need your hose to drop straight down, we have a billet aluminum thermostat housing that we build that we can add to any of the LS kits. Okay, we've finished our project. We've installed our 8-rib pulley system for an LSA engine. If you have any questions, give us a call at Concept One. Thank you for watching.